Welcome back. Today we're going to talk about the free-to-play and low spender pool plan for future banners. Now there's a lot of characters out. It's very important for you to not waste your pools, and if you're trying to build a team, what to go for if you haven't decided yet, or who to go, where to get it, when they're going, when they're coming, who's rerunning, what's happening, who's the limited character, AC Collab in August. So it's kind of an important moment, right? So if you don't have infinite pools, you need to be careful. Now, let's start with Recoleta, because Noire, everybody's skipping Noire, because Recoleta is just better and it's easier to build. And Noire, for some reason, got released and she doesn't have many characters that are specifically tailored for her kit. So, you know, kind of unfortunate situation. Maybe in the future she will get better, but for now everybody's skipping for Recoleta, understandably. Recoleta is an extremely powerful character. She's mineral flutters, she scales with Moxie consumed and ultimate might, and she will deal a tremendous amount of damage for in an easy to assemble team. You can use old characters like new Euphoria, old characters like Melania, Pickles Euphoria, Melania Euphoria, maybe Shamaine if you don't have anybody else. You can use Lopera, you can use other healers that can just buffer in general. And it's a character that it kind of sparks and creates this ultimate team. You can also use Hissabeth later, but we'll talk about her more in just a little bit. Creates the ultimate team. Now, this ultimate team that is based on ultimate is fairly easy to assemble. You also have to remember that there is going to be a selector for all the until 1.1, I believe. For characters until 1.1 that you can have in 2.7 by clearing the base story. So almost everybody besides new player will get it. But if you're a new player, just do the story, you will get it. Is these characters: Eternity, Pickles, Babel, Melania, Annalise, Shamaine, Jessica, Mercy, Pocket, Voyager, Lilia, Sotheby, Druvis third. If you clear the story, the base story, I believe, you will be able to, depending on what you're clearing, like if you clear one, you get this. Clear second, you get these, and clear third, you get this. If you open the selection pool without doing anything, then you will only have these three options. Now, with these characters in mind, you could cook, depending on your roster and what you have and what you don't have, you could cook some prioritization on which characters you're going for. You also need to keep in mind that there's going to be a new Euphoria banner to pull on, which is guaranteed on the first character that you choose. It's kind of a selectable banner between the characters that go to Euphoria and plus some rerunning characters. The first one is going to be 100%. So by using that and by using the selector in 2.7, so not the next patch, 2.7 after the Recoleta Aleph patch. So you could pre-plan, I'm gonna get this character here, pull on this banner, get this limited unit, and and then you have the team assembled depending on what you want to go for. So Recoleta for the ultimate team, she's extremely powerful, but the only scenario where I would like maybe not pull would be that if you are going for impromptu and you're free to play. Because if you're going for impromptu and you are free to play, you are now considering Aleph, which comes right after Recoleta. Now, you could be a little bit greedy in sense of like, I want everything, right? And if you want everything and you happen to have Flutter page, all that impromptu needs at the end of the day, if we are diluting what the impromptu is needing, is someone that uses Eureka, right? If it's someone that uses Eureka and you don't really need the 1 AP, even though the 1 AP is really good, then you can use Flutter Page. Now, that would be the only moment when you are going like, oh, well, maybe I don't need Recoleta because I'm saving for impromptu and I want the full team. Now, the problem is, after Recoleta comes Aleph. So, Aleph is not necessarily a must pool for impromptu. I mean, it is, because it's the only character that comes from impromptu, for impromptu. And it's the only character that is giving you +1 AP to a team that desperately needs AP. Because it's extremely AP hungry, the impromptu team. It does a ridiculous the ridiculously high amount of damage, you could probably trivialize most of the content with Impromptu, especially after it ramps up a little bit and Barcarola gets people in the quartet. But Aleph is a very good character. It's not bad at all. But if you are free to play and you feel like you want to get multiple teams at the same time, and you want to try your luck, or maybe you happen to have the correct characters from in your roster, then at this point you can choose if you want to pick up Recoleta and try to do a whole new team, or get a one character that helps a lot on the Impromptu team. But if you don't have him, if you don't pick up Aleph, and you happen to have another character that can use Eureka, like Flutter Page, and buff and consume Eureka to generate the inspiration, it could be an option. It could be a placeholder, right? Maybe you can get Aleph when he comes back. Hopefully we don't get the debate banner anymore, but we will until we catch up, I think. Still, so you can have this choice, this split road. You could actually, it's 3 roads. One road you pull for Recoleta and you don't pull for Aleph because you can use Flutter Page instead of Aleph, and you have a whole new team, ultimate team. Second road, you don't pull for Recoleta because you're trying to finish the Impromptu team, and you want everybody that is made for Impromptu plus 1 AP, plus his buff is going to be extremely good, consumes a lot of Eureka, getting a lot of inspiration. His ultimate is able to record the cards and then cast them on the next turn, which is going to double down of the insane burn that you're going to do on certain turns, and do like burst damage that you're going to do like a trillion stacks on the Impromptu inspiration. So you want to do that, right? If you want to, that's the second road. Or you could do the hybrid road in case you have a placeholder for Aleph, which is not as good, but it's still sort of working, right? In that case, you are getting Recoleta and then you are skipping Aleph, and you're just using a placeholder until you have funds for Aleph whenever it comes back, right? That is the 3 roads in this 2.6 patch. In 2.7, we are getting Hissabeth and Kiperina. Now, I'll be honest, Hissabeth is cool. She has a nice gimmick. She has a nice, funny way of playing. She generates a lot of little snake, free cards, free AP cards. Her ultimate also can work with Recoleta, so you could pick her up because you like her, because you think it's funny to use her, you like her kit, and you can use her with Recoleta as the ultimate team, or you can use her in funny. And she enables funny teams. Like Recoleta is the fun, is the character for the ultimate, and then Hissabeth is the fun character. You can use her if you like to experiment and make some goofy teams that can work and they're going to be kind of funny or kind of good sometimes. But besides that, you can also use her for poison, I think. If you actually no, I don't think you can. I don't think you can use it for poison. I mean, after Jessica Euphoria 2, which is poison Euphoria, I think poison is done. I mean, at this point, it works. It works that way. I wouldn't dilute it with a character like Hissabeth. But yeah, keep that in mind. Hissabeth is the fun character. Hissabeth is the fun character if you want to experiment. But other than that, I don't think it's that big of an important pool in my opinion. You know why? Also because after her, Kiperina is coming out. Kiperina is an extremely powerful shielder, which is intended for Impromptu, but you can still use it outside of Impromptu because of her free shields. You just have to enable her her kit, her passives, the way she works, and once you do that, you can just boom, free shield 7k, 2.5 without any usage of AP. Now, Kiperina, however, it's intended, the first usage for Kiperina is Impromptu. And she's going to be extremely good for Impromptu because she doesn't use many AP, and you're going to have fat shields that you cannot destroy unless you're doing some insanely hard content. And this is going to be just going to make the team complete, in my opinion. And now you have a ridiculous amount of power for impromptu because everybody is consuming Eureka constantly. You're buffing with Aleph, consuming Eureka. You are fine, like doing any card with these characters, including like maybe Voyager or Regulus, depending on which one you want to use. Every time they do any card, consume Eureka. All of this Eureka is going to the impromptu power, the inspiration for the impromptu. And then the impromptu is going to do zoom, 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 zoom. It's going to be a lot of fucking damage. And you're going to probably trivialize all of the content, unironically. Now, so Kiperina, I would say, even if you're not going for impromptu, it's kind of like a bigger, like a more important pool. Maybe must pool. If not must pool, like kind of close. Like, okay, so if you're going for impromptu, I feel like it's a must pool. Because even if you don't want to use impromptu for whatever reason, one day, you can still pick Kiperina and put it somewhere else. If you're not going for impromptu, you could still consider getting Kiperina because of her insane shields. And she's just really good support. So, you know, keep that in mind when you're going for these characters, especially if you're going for impromptu. So this is this 2.7. I think 2.7 is kind of brain dead. You just skip. A lot of people will skip Hissabeth and get Kiperina. That's it. Now, after Kiperina, we have the limited patch, Nautika. Now, Nautika is probably the strongest character that we have right now in the game with her team. She is using a new system called Blood Tithe, and she has a ridiculous amount of HP, and like 30k or something, and she is a powerhouse. She can be used, okay, some people are saying that she can be used also for follow-up attack, because technically she does a lot of follow-ups, especially if you counter, and she also has her own follow-ups. So maybe if you are missing the characters for the Blood Tithe, you can still justify picking up Nautika, because first of all, it's a limited character. Second of all, she's really strong by like her kit in itself. Third, you could very easily get the character that she needs for Blood Tithe eventually with time. I'll tell you in just a second. And fourth reason, you can use her in the follow-up team. You know, you can do like Flutter Page Fatutu and put like, if you have one of the Blood Tithe, otherwise you can just, you know, use Nautika with the follow-up attack team, and will be fine. But the intended team, which is going to be dealing a ridiculous amount of damage, which I think it's higher than impromptu, I think. I don't know the math, but people were saying that it's even higher than impromptu. Maybe in AoE it's higher than impromptu. I don't know. Well, maybe we'll see. They're like, we're talking about like, this is the content power that you need to clear everything, and this is where like impromptu and Nautika are fighting. Like, who's better? Like, who cares? You're still destroying everything. That said, Nautika uses the Blood Tithe system, which the more you lose HP, the more you are gaining this Blood Tithe, which is a heart that is going to appear on the side of the screen. And once you have a certain threshold of this Blood Tithe, and once you finish getting your runes on Nautika, you do the ultimate. And the ultimate deals a ridiculous amount of damage. We are talking about like 500,000 or something every time, and it's gonna be AoE. So, but the thing is that it's very easy for you to get Nautika to ult again. Plus, that's only the ultimate. She does a really good amount of damage. Even when you are like countering, people attack you, you retaliate with an AoE, Star of an Oblivion, and you're like dealing like 20, 30, 40k, bam. They attack you, 40k AoE. They attack you, 40k AoE. I believe she can repost like 3 or 4 times before like it caps at least at P0. And for the Blood Tithe team, you need at least 2 characters that are going to be dedicated also for the Blood Tithe. And in this occasion, in the Nautika patch, we will get the Blood Tithe update. So Semmelweis is going to get Euphoria. Semmelweis also becomes extremely powerful with this Euphoria Blood Tithe, and she can be working with Nautika on her own team as well. You don't need to use them together necessarily. And then you're gonna have Eternity, which with their old Euphoria, reduces everybody's HP every time she attacks, and gives also other buffs. So with that, you will be building a lot of blood type really easily. And then there's a kind of a flex spot now. You could use Ezra, blood tithe version of Euphoria, which does heals a ridiculous amount of HP. What the fuck was that? I saw on my free-to-play account in Siena, because I'm free to play. My very low, no, actually in the that was the trial. The trial. I don't have Ezra. In the trial, Ezra was healing 10,000 damage as AoE. Granted, Ezra was P2. I don't think Ezra P2 does anything for his healing. That was ridiculous. So, and he builds blood tithe as well. So, you know, if you have Ezra, you happen to have Ezra laying around, you can do that. So, or you could use anybody that is consuming HP, like Medicine Pocket Euphoria, which is also going to help with mitigation and stuff like that, and shielding and automatic healing and mitigation, and also has still has the debuff card and the global debuff card and the ultimate, which stuns and heals everybody. So you know, it's the HP team is one of the most meta team at the moment, with Impromptu second, with Recoleta third. Now there's another character coming, which is in the Nautika patch, which is free P5, which is Buddy Fairchild, and I've heard he is like weirdly powerful. So maybe some people are like kind of coping. They're saying like, oh, okay, well, I can kind of skip Recoleta to get Buddy Fairchild. I'm not sure about that. I think I will be doing a comparison or like a dedicated video between Recoleta and Buddy Fairchild once I know more about the little squirrel, fat squirrel. Once I know more, I'll tell you. But for now, I'll just mention it. Keep an eye on it. I will make the video before Recoleta banner is over, so you will be able to, you know, not miss out on if you decide to pull her or not. So that's Buddy Fairchild. You also have Lucy Rerun. Lucy Rerun is really important because some people want to get Lucy. Lucy, believe it or not, is going to get a Euphoria as well, which makes her stronger than she already is. And we are getting free Ulrich in the same patch as Nautika. Now, with this free Ulrich, which is using the Dynamo system and the electric field system, is going to work the same, it's going to have the same concept, the same mechanic as the new Lucy with Euphoria. Lucy got a patch update, got a Windows update, and now she is generating way more dynamo. She has less restriction on her kit, and she is contributing to this dynamo. She gives her to Ulrich. Ulrich is building this electric field. The electric field gets higher in level, higher and higher in level, up to level 3, and now everybody is popping off. So this new team, and you could also use Ezra, Euphoria, modify like the other version, which is the Dynamo version, the electric field version, to have 3 characters contributing to the electric field. I'm not sure if you need to do that, but having Ulrich and Lucy is kind of a new team, and it's a rerunning character that, as if you don't remember, Lucy can transcend a Flawless Advantage once she ults and upgrade her cards, and she has a couple of follow-up attacks that can penetrate dodge. You know, it is still a very powerful and useful character for your account if you didn't get her when she came out a year ago. Obviously, understandably, not everybody was playing last time, so maybe new players want to pick up Lucy. There is another option. So, you know, considering that Ulrich is going to be free now, you're not gonna have Nautika and Lucy rerunning at the same time. Lucy's gonna come a little bit after, but considering how easy it is to get these teams together, if you happen to have every single character mentioned that is part of the standard character, or maybe you have Semmelweis laying around, or you have a Eternity laying around, now it's almost the full team for Nautika. Just get Nautika and you have an entire team already, right? You don't necessarily have to have everybody that is going into this blood tithe. Eventually we'll get more characters, but for now, if you happen to have the characters, then it's like easy to build these teams. That is the good part. The only team that is very strict compared to the others is Impromptu, but after that, after getting Kiperina, you're done. right? And now that Steam is done, is shitting out everything, right? So keep that in mind also with the Lucy and free Ulrich. That said, there is also the AC collab. Now, I don't know if we're gonna get it at the same time as CN, or if CN is gonna take it, it's gonna get it first, because it's coming in August. So it's gonna be like what? Like 3 point something in CN? So are we getting it when global gets to 3 point something, or we are getting it at the same time? I think we are getting it as a delay. The CN is getting it first, and then we are getting it later whenever we get to the same patch. Otherwise, it would coincide with a lot of other patches, a lot of other banners, and fuck everybody up in a situation that CN didn't have, and now we have to deal with it, right? So, you know, keep that in mind. It's kind of a little weird situation. And I think we are gonna get the collab once we get to the 3 point patch. So CN is going first. I would assume that these characters from the AC collab is gonna, I believe it's Ezio, Cassandra, and another character, Alexios, I believe. So Lucius, who's Lucius? Ezio and Cassandra are gonna be probably limited, like Lucy or Nautica are gonna be limited because of the patch. I don't think it's ever coming back. So if you're a collector of these characters are really good, or they making a team on their own, like they work together and they want you to pull in everybody, it's gonna be a once in a lifetime thing. So be careful about that. Luckily, it's not coming right after Nautica, right? So at that point, you should be able to have like at least a couple of teams that are really, really good and functioning and done. And then you can afford to maybe skip a couple of characters and get to the collab with like a decent amount of pulls. But I think they're going to be extremely limited, once time only in your life. It's never going to rerun. Hopefully I'm wrong, but I can see something like that happening. That is it. That is it for this video. I will put all the timestamps. TLDR, your focus is to finish a team. One, you can finish impromptu. You can get the Recoleta team up, the ultimate team. You don't really need Hissabeth for anything besides some fun memes. Or if you want to, if you like it, you want to use her with Recoleta, that's fine. There's the two teams. Then there is Kiperina. Then there's Nautica, which is the HP team, HP Drain team, Blood Tithe team, whatever you want to call it, HP team, I guess. Then there's the new Lucy update with Ulrich. Those are all the teams. Okay. Now, in the background, when you're making these teams, there are older characters that are getting Euphorias and stuff. If you have any of these characters from standard that got Euphoria'd, now depending on who you have, is going to make one of the main up options more suitable for you. So depending on who you have and who you plan to get, or who you happen to have as a placeholder or as a unit, you can rationalize getting one character over another. Okay? I believe I said everything I needed to say. If you have other questions, write them in the comments, or come ask me live at twitch.tv/Jakazin. So that's it for today. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.